Awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. Hope everyone's had a good weekend and week so far. Thank you all for taking the time to come and attend our calls. As I always like to say, your time is valuable and we appreciate you, even if you're just watching it on YouTube. So I would like to go ahead and maybe kick us off this evening. And yeah, I'm going to go ahead and Lawrence, you there?
Yeah. You were talking to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I
was just
am.
gonna let you.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'll be glad to start. Yeah. I appreciate everybody taking the time to be with us. We were hoping to talk about, we are talking about um, voter access during COVID-19, how we can do that safely by voting in person, absentee in person. It's a way I did it yesterday, and it was an opportunity to try to get out and vote and do it in a safe manner where we don't have to stand in line. Even though we did have to stand about an hour, it took there's quite a few people in line who had the same opinion I had about trying to get out early. Uh, so yeah, it is what we want to encourage for everybody to go vote between now and November the 2nd, where you can do it in person and relieve some of the pressures on the polling places on November the 3rd. Um, so basically, they have two options. You have to you can do curbside, and I think that's reserved for people that have handicap stickers, handicap, tags somewhat on their cars, showing that they have some kind of disability. And then the other is like I say is just walk in and poll. Doing a poll in person absentee is just like voting on November the 3rd, and that only difference is it's done over the course of the month of October. Um, some of the things that we're working on that I want to inform everybody about, and at any point, anybody else who wanted to say anything, please do. But this coming Sunday, we were putting together two events that's going to be associated with a group that's doing a national tour out of Virginia. And they have this car caravan and march in honor of John Lewis. I think it's um, John Lewis Good Trouble Awareness March is what they call it. And that's going to take place in Eastover at three local churches there. And then we're going to have a rally at Town Hall for we're going to convene the convoy. That'll start around 10 at, I think it's 9:50. We scheduled to be at St. Philip's AME Church in Eastover. And then at 11, we plan to visit with um, churchgoers at St. Luke, and I think it's AME Church also. We'll end that portion of it at St. Matthew's. Um, Basically, what we'll do is they have a RV that's been decorated up, and it's an opportunity for people to take pictures at the RV. The mayor pro tem, Leroy Faber, will be there, and the pastors of the churches will also encourage people to make sure they participate in the voting process. Um, we'll leave Eastover around 2 o'clock and reconvene in Columbia. And we hadn't finalized the location yet, but we were trying to get into proximity of of Allen and Benedict, hopefully to encourage some students to come out. And we're gonna have our free fish again. Hopefully that'll draw people to us. And it is with the same motive to tell people that it's important that they vote now, absentee in person, either absentee mail-in ballots to relieve some of the stress on the polls for November the 3rd. And it's a possibility we may have it at one of the polling places. I'm gonna look into the Masonic Temple on the corner of Gervais and Millwood as an opportunity, a possibility of a location. And that's actually one of the one of the satellites for voting now. And there's a number of other things that we're involved in. We're trying to put together some community organizations, churches, and law enforcement to stand with us in a press conference, hopefully sometime this week, Thursday or Friday. We are hoping to put it together, talking about the importance of law enforcement, one, educating the public about the threats and dangers that may occur at polling places for voter intimidation, voter suppression, which is a real thing in a lot of communities. And also educate the public about consequences if you so seem fit to, to do those type of things to try to intimidate someone. So those are the things that some of the things we're working on. We got a number of things we're actually working on, but those are some of the head highlights of our work.
Okay.
And thank you so much, Lawrence, for bringing that to everybody's attention. I'm sure everyone could use some delicious food. Side note, I believe Mira asked who was leading the convoy.
Okay. And then Doug had a question also. The convoy again is a group out of Virginia. That's one of the names they gave me was the John Lewis Good Trouble Awareness March. And the other portion of it is it's called Notorious RV. It's and I don't know. I don't actually know the name of it, but it's they've been traveling. Actually, their last destination was Georgia. I think they just went through Augusta. Okay, it's the Notorious RVG. Okay? They call it the Ruthless Vote Getter. And Doug over here got my back, so great. And then he can say it again to everybody. But yeah. Those are the two organizations I've been in conference with, helping them put this together. And yeah, I think it boosts our effort of what we're trying to get accomplished in turning people out. And go ahead.
William, you there? Well,
I'm sorry, I was on mute.
that's okay.
She must, yeah. Sarah Emily, excuse me?
Yes.
Yeah, Doug had a question.
Sure, what's the question?
Yeah. Yeah. Again, in voting yesterday, my experience was real good. Most of everything was orderly. We had people in line. Actually, like I said, it took us about an hour to do it. See, that were social distancing. It was 4 in our party. And basically the groups in front and behind. The party in front of it was a husband and wife. The group behind was an individual. It was one female. But everybody was giving everybody their space. It was very organized. As you walk in the door, they got hand sanitizer. And after you get inside the line, they have it marked off 6 feet away. It was, like I say, a process where we was outside probably 40 minutes, and then we went inside the building. We were probably still inside the building for another 20 minutes to get into the poll, getting through the whole process. You have to go to a table, and then they identify who you are. They find out exactly which precinct you vote in, and they pull up your ballot by precinct, so you can vote in all the particular races. So it's very important when you do come up to the first set of tables, that you have your driver's license out or some form of ID that they can determine what precinct you live in. They can do that by looking at your driver's license and your address. And it's required in South Carolina that you do have a picture ID to participate in voting. From there, they lead you over to the machines where you vote at. And it's a slip of paper that everyone's used to feed into the machine for their particular ballot. That's in Richland County, and I know in other parts of the state they use different machinery. But in Richland County, it's a paper that you insert into there, and then after you do that, you can indicate which candidates that you voted for, and then at the end of the process, after you confirm all of your votes, that same paper they'll give it back to you, and then you have to go to a final table where you insert that into a machine that casts your ballot. So yeah, it's a process, and like I say, it's very important that everybody make a plan to make sure that they take the time to go vote, and you know, it's so important for our community that everybody have a voice. Ceremony, William had a comment. Was he next?
I was just going to say, I voted yesterday in Union County, and it's always fairly easy to just walk in. But the Election Commission was meeting, or about to meet as I was in there, and I have known some of those people for a long time. Some of them been there for more than 40 years. And that guy said that the first week and that particular morning they had close to 700 people absentee and walk in. Now this is in Little Union, okay? They were just blown away, and that's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing.
Yeah, definitely. I mean,
that's Union, okay? That's not Richland County.
Yeah, it's definitely on the smaller side.
Yeah.
But that's great news, William. And I believe you also had an event you wanted to talk about tomorrow.
Well, no, we're not. That's the details of that are not certain, and we may be doing the press conference Thursday, Friday.
Okay.
Trying to pull some more
Sounds
people
good.
into it.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. Good thing to keep on the agenda, though.
We will be having a press conference. We will be having a press conference at some point this week, and we've invited the ACLU to participate in our law enforcement letter campaign, and maybe we'll be reaching out to some law enforcement as well to see if they can participate in the press conference. I'd say the purpose of that letter and reaching out to law enforcement is threefold. It's most law enforcement, of course, is right on board. They know what's going on, and they would be watching for anything like intimidation at the polls, but they need to be warned that this is an unusual situation if they don't already realize it, because you have the vice president, calling for able-bodied citizens to support, militia, basically. He doesn't use that word, but that's what it comes down to, to make sure there are no problems with voting. So you have a potential wildfire for this election day, and the general law enforcement needs to know that. Secondly, there are pockets of conservatism around South Carolina where there might be some administration and law enforcement, or possibly just officers who would turn away, if they knew somebody was intimidating. And thirdly, of course, this is just a great way of reaching out to through public and digital media to let people know of what's going on, so that everyone can be diligent in, keeping a watchful eye around the polling places.
Yeah, yeah. I'd like to add to that too. Is also that we actually in the process of getting training to utilize some voter protection tools. We do have 2 hour. We are can utilize some tools that will, if you pull out your phone, you record these type of incidents where someone is harassing you, that the news media would respond, not the news media, but lawyers will be informed about what's going on, and they can dispatch people to your location. And we'll be trying to provide that type of information on our Facebook page, and whatever way we can provide training to people. They're more than welcome to take part in the training. I just have to arrange that and set it up, but that is something that we can do. And I know it's a lot of other avenues for voter protection. The different parties, I'm sure, have different programs going on that addresses that problem also. Sarah Emily, we got some new participants on the call. Do we want to encourage some of them to speak up? At least some of them don't know names to them.
Uh-oh.
Who was that?
Something went on in the loop. But anybody want to speak up? Introduce yourself. Say hello. Hello to the masses. If not, then I, of course, going to go ahead and
I have a question.
Self-promote. I'm sorry, someone said they have a question.
Yeah,
go ahead.
This is Mira. So are you going to do any, is anybody from Carolina for All doing any poll watching? Or is that an independent thing going on?
Well, we hadn't got to the point where we, start organizing for the November 3rd. But yeah, we do need to recruit persons that are willing to utilize the tools that we have about polling places and getting the word out about how you can contact, legal assistance if you feel like you've been discriminated against, being harassed, things of that nature. We're in the process of hopefully by the middle of next week sometime that we have all that under control. But that is something that we should have capability to do.
And how
this is Donna.
Go ahead.
In response to that, I hope y'all can hear me. Last week, the young man from Sumter said he was training his 17-year-olds in high school to poll watch.
Yes, I recall the gentleman from Sumter with the NAACP. Well, it was, I don't know if he was actually associated with them or not, but I know one of the ladies from the NAACP introduced him. I hadn't spoke with him since, but yeah, it's a possibility that, we could assist him, or either he can assist us by, but yeah, that's something that I think he was doing in Sumter County to, like mentor young people.
So I have a friend who's in North Carolina, and he took the training and signed up to be a poll watcher. And voting is already happening. So it started happening in North Carolina earlier than South Carolina, but it's happening now. Do we need any poll watching now?
From my experience, they didn't, and they had plenty of people that are working. I don't know if any of those individuals with poll, excuse me, poll watch or not, but they had several individuals assisting people there. But yeah, that's something we can check into. But I do know as poll workers that they seem to have had no problem with staffing people this year. They, at one point they were concerned, but I ran into situations where there were a number of people had applied and reached out to be a poll worker, and they wasn't needed. So and that's a good sign, because like I said, we were concerned that we wasn't gonna have enough because of consequences of the virus and everything was deterring people, especially people that used to do it, some of the older workers.
Yeah. Okay. So you're thinking that the standing militia people who are standing by will only show up November 3rd. They're not going to be showing up any sooner.
And that's probably depending on locale. It's depending on how much of that is going on in your particular community. It may be happening now. It's just what I experienced in Richland County and what I've seen from film and news reports. It doesn't appear to be a problem at this point yet. But we've just been voting for a little bit over a week now.
Okay, great. How are you going to get the word out about the other training?
Yeah, we basically I'll form the email, and then we'll post everything on our social media and the website if we can. And reaching out to other organizations that we're partnering with. Reverend Woodbury is already they had a training yesterday on some of the tools, and also we're gonna have one Thursday that William and Doug hope to participate in. They got the link, and you have to sign up for that training a day in advance, but they send it today, so hopefully we'll be able to be a part of that. But yeah, we just got to organize it here in the Midlands, the training for the border protection. We're gonna try to be more involved in that and making it more part of our program.
Right. You voted at Masonic Temple. Is that where you voted?
I voted at the Adult Center on Gardner's Ferry, the Adult Activity Center.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Anyone else? Sean, do you want to tell people about your experience at voting?
I haven't voted yet, but I am in the process. Hello, everyone. My name is Tomiko Lord. My uncle calls me Sean. I have not voted yet, but I'm in the process right now in the midst of training for to be a poll manager. I have training tomorrow. I'm doing some by computer now, so this is my first time ever actually participating in this part of the process. Learning a lot I thought I knew and I did not know. So I'm kind of excited. I decided to do this after the last time we had voting this year, and we stood in line for like 2 and 3 hours. And I had a husband that who's basically disabled because of amputation, and he was trying to be strong and standing in that line. And it was just, to me, just devastating that he had to stand that long. Even people waiting to be to wait to vote, and not knowing that people had to go inside to get someone to come out to bring the accessibility for the bringing the voting outside to them. I can't get my words together, yeah. But so that made me want to do it this time. So I'm just excited, and going to try to vote tomorrow at the Adult Center on Gardner's Ferry before I actually, if not downtown, when I go for training. So I'm very excited about the process, and I'm just going to keep my eyes open and see what I see. I'm listening to what y'all saying about maybe possibly having, people come that might want to stir up some things. That's been a concern of mine on November the 3rd. But I think so far, I don't think South Carolina or Richland County has to worry about that. Hopefully, I mean, I don't really see any anything in our area that would indicate that we would, but you never know. So that's basically all I have to say about it.
Thank you. I appreciate you sharing.
Not afraid of
Anyone else?
COVID. I already had it.
Yep.
If no one else wants to speak, I'll go back to shamelessly promoting us.
Yeah,
So,
good.
sorry, I was just going to say, another thing that we're working to do or working towards is everyone's discussing their experiences of voting absentee in person. And for some people, unfortunately, they can't exactly get a ride there. So what we would really like to do is we would really like to offer rides to people that are going to be needing rides to the polls, kind of like a Uber ride share sort of program, so to speak. However, that I believe is in the works as of right now. But again, shameless self-promotion. I'm going to go ahead and in the chat, I'm going to put our Act Blue. And if you guys wouldn't mind sharing it with your friends and other people you might know, we could really use the funds to get this project going a little bit further. Also, please feel free to check out our website, Carolina for All. Our previous Turn Up Tuesday events are posted on the website and they're on our YouTube as well. And yeah, please feel free to like and share all of our stuff on Facebook, interact with our Instagram and our Twitter. But yeah, so I'll go ahead and put those links in the chat. And yeah, that's all.
Sarah, is that link, Sarah Emily, are you there? Hello?
Yes, hello, yes.
Are those links also on the Facebook page?
Yes, so the website link is on the Facebook page as well.
I mean, the website is, I have a friend who wanted to donate and she went to the website and she didn't see a way to donate.
Okay, so essentially, I think there's a few posts on our Facebook that have the Act Blue account linked to it, but on our website, if you scroll down to the bottom of the homepage, there's a donate button, and it will take you to that link.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll actually go ahead and put the direct link in the chat here. Just let me get to it. But yeah, so really appreciate you asking about that. I'll try to make that a bit more accessible in the future. But if you guys wouldn't mind sharing everything with your friends, just sharing it with basically whoever, the more people we can inform about voting, especially in this election, the better. So I'll go ahead and put a link to that in the chat.
And Mira, I think you were mainly asking about the Facebook page. I will try to post up the donating link a little bit more often on our page, because what happens is we post so much and it ends up getting lost in all the posts on the Facebook page, because Facebook is kind of like, the page is a little bit unorganized the way Facebook has it all set up. But just like Sarah Emily said, the website is the most organized way to get all the information that we post, really. And the Facebook is more just to keep people updated in the moment.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And Sarah Emily, this is Donna. I just wanted to mention, I think I mentioned this on our call earlier, but about the witness signature. The South Carolina Alliance for Retired Americans, which Sarah Emily and William are familiar with. It's a union, it's a senior advocacy group for unions and community allies. But in different states, they are filing lawsuits for the witness signatures not to have to be on. They filed in about 7 states, I think. The National Alliance for Retired Americans asked the states, and they called and asked South Carolina to do an amicus brief to sign on to the lawsuit. So we did yesterday, and that will probably be in court next Wednesday. The papers will be filed this Friday. We expect to have some answers back on Monday, and then it'll go before Judge Gergel on Wednesday. And I think I was saying before on the call, it's so confusing at this point because the General Assembly said, no, you don't have to have a signature because of the circumstances we're in. The courts ruled and overturned it, and then you got to have a signature. And in some of these states are actually winning, so we may or may not win. But if we do, then we won't have to have a witness. And I was saying that it's really the county offices are the ones that are so difficult. South Carolina Election Commission, if a court decision is made, they will do the right thing about whether it's a signature or not. But it's always confusing because the counties don't seem to follow the direction as closely as they should. But anyway, we should know from that lawsuit next Wednesday.
No, thank you for bringing that up for sure, because that affects any person voting absentee.
Yeah,
so thank you for.
We'll still have, that'll be next week, and we'll still have, a good, I think 2 weeks after that, maybe. I don't know, it's running so short now. But anyway, so they thought it was worth it, so they had the attorneys in DC pick it up for us.
Awesome. Anybody else have something else to add?
Just to let everybody know, as usual for anybody, but also for people that are new to our call, I will be leaving the chat open for a while, leaving the whole call open for a while so everybody can get all the information they need off the chat, just to let you know.
Thanks, Doug. Definitely appreciate that. But yeah, if no one else has any additional information, or any other anecdotes that they'd like to share, you want to go ahead and close it out? How are we feeling?
I think so.
Yeah, thanks to everybody.
Yeah, for sure. Really glad to have everyone here again. Your input was really appreciated, and don't forget to check out carolinaforall.org, and any support is totally appreciated. And don't forget to check out our Facebook page, Instagram, and Twitter. So thank you all for coming, and yeah, have a good night, everyone.
Sarah, Emily, I have one more question. Did Lawrence, did you hear anything back, or is Lawrence is still here? Yeah. Did you hear anything back from what was it, South SEC? We sent the letter to.
Give me 1 second. He stepped away for a second. Give me 1 second. I'll grab him for you so you can answer that question.
Okay, that's okay. It's not that important. I was just wondering if they replied to the letter that y'all sent asking for them to put an insert about all the updates with the witness. Sounds like it's still in play, so whatever.
Gotcha. I'll make sure he gets back and calls you personally and to give you that information.
Okay, thanks. All right, thanks everyone.
All right, I think we're gonna go ahead and end the call. Thank y'all for joining us, and I will be leaving this chat open, like I said, to let everybody get everything they need out the chat.
Awesome.